Welcome to this lecture series on wireless and mobile communications. In this lecture, I will discuss on handoff in cellular communication. I'll discuss how the handoff take place, which factors affecting the handoff, different handoff processes, and how we can minimize the handoff failures. So, first of all, what is handoff? Handoff is a process in cellular communication in which a call or a data session is transferred from a base station or a channel of a cell to another. If we want to understand from the figure 2 what is handoff process, see here the user that is called MS mobile station, which is denoted by this car, is moving from a base station area to the base station 2 area. There are two adjacent cells. One is served by the base station 1 and other one is served by base station 2. And the car is moving from base station 1 to the base station 2 area. When this user reaches to A, if we look at this figure now, it is connected to both. Figure 1 connected to both. Means during that time handoff process starts. As it moves towards B, when it reaches to the edge of the cell, then there is a break in the connection with the base station 1 and the MS. And when it reach to the base station B, by that time here the handoff process should be completed. So this duration is called handoff time. It is from A to B time, handoff time. This duration should be enough so that the user can or the system can complete the handoff process. Now, if we look at the figure here, if we try to understand how the handoff takes place, there are two base stations in this figure, base station old to the base station new, where y-axis denotes the received signal strength to the user and x-axis is the distance. As the user moves from both base station old to the base station new, the received signal strength from old base station to the user is dropping exponentially. Similarly, as it moves towards the base station new, its received signal strength increasing exponentially from the base station new. Now the question is when the handoff starts or when it should be completed. As we know that every device needs a minimum voltage or power to decode the information successfully. Here in our case, in this case, it is PR minimum. So what is PR minimum? PR minimum is the minimum required power for a device to decode the information successfully. If the receive power falls below PR minimum, the device won't be able to decode the information. For the same purpose, instead of starting the handoff process at PR minimum, we'll start the handoff process at PR edge, which is just greater than the PR minimum. Because if we start the handoff process just at PR minimum, maybe happen that when the handoff took place, then the received signal bar drops below and the device won't be able to decode the information and the handoff, there may be a handoff failure. Handoff process won't be completed. Taking in this mind, we have to set this PR threshold just above the PR minimum, but we have to select this PR threshold judiciously. So if we look at here, the blue line is basically indicating the PR threshold and red line is indicating PR minimum. So this line that receives signal strength dropping and this minimum, that is blue line, when it intersect, from there it will start the handoff process. And when it will reach to this and the intersection between this red line, there is a PR minimum, and that receive signal strength, this line, this here by this point it has to complete the handoff process. So this is called handoff time for handoff. Now the delta is basically the difference between this PRTH and PR minimum. PRTH is greater than PR minimum. We have to set this PRTH higher than the PR minimum to avoid the handoff failures basically. If we look at the delta, that is the difference between PRTH and PR minimum. PRTH already mentioned, it is a handoff threshold, and PR minimum is the minimum power level to maintain the good quality of service, that is minimum required power. It is told that delta neither to be high nor to be low. It should be selected judiciously. Now the question may raise, why it should not be high, why it should not be low? What would happen? To understand these two terms, I would like to call this figure 4, where there are different power circles. A base station is there. Just we can imagine the users, if the users is moving far away from the base stations, obviously its received signal strength will decay. So at this green on this blue circle it would be P1, on this green circle it would be P2, on this red circle it would be P3, and on this dark blue circle it would be the outermost P4. So that P1 greater than P2 greater than P3 greater than P4. So if we want to measure the power anywhere on the circumference of this blue circle, it would be P1, similarly for P2, similarly for P3, and all so on. Now if I ask you how many devices are beyond the P3 circle, so definitely your answer would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, if I ask how many devices are beyond the P2 circle, it would be 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. See that PR minimum. Now let us try to understand why it should not be high. PR minimum is the fixed requirement. We cannot change it. It is fixed for a device. We have to set PRTH. Delta becomes high when PRTH is high. PRTH is high means the threshold value where it will start the handoff process. So if I see here, if I am moving towards the center of the cell, then that power level increase. That means if I makes the PRTH high, that means basically we are moving from PR4 to PR2, PR1 towards the center. So if we just try to understand, see if I initially it is P3, so 4 devices out beyond this red circle, so they are receiving low power, so they will ask for handoff. Now suddenly if I increase the power level, the threshold to P2, P3 to P2, so basically 7 devices will ask for handoff because they are receiving less power than the required set power, because we set the required minimum power is P2 here as PR threshold. Now 7 devices are asking. So if we increase the threshold, more number of devices will ask for handoff. So it will increase the burden of MSC. On the other hand, if we minimize the del, that means we are selecting the PRT very near to the PR minimum. The gap between PR minimum and PR threshold is very low. So basically if we go back to the figure previous figure, that means I am bringing this blue line towards the red line. So that means this intersection, these two intersection which is denoted for time for handoff, it it will reduce. You can feel it will reduce. So if it reduces, that time may not be enough to complete the handoff process. So there are two reasons for two different cases. If delta increases, more number of users will ask for handoff. If delta minimum, there may not be enough time to complete the handoff process. So these points are mentioned here. It's neither too low, small, insufficient time to complete the handoff process. Before call is lost, more call losses, and if delta too large, too many handoffs burdens for MSC. Now, how we can describe different types of handoffs? It may be an improper or proper handoff, or other way you can define soft and hard handoffs. First, we will discuss about the proper and improper handoff. Then we will discuss about soft and hard handoff. If we see the proper, the figure 5 improper handoff, this one, there are 4 different power levels. First one is level that according to this given figure, which we have considered, we have started with the figure, that figure 1, the same figure. When the receiver is at A, the power level is here, the green one, power level. Then handoff threshold, that I already told, you have to, that handoff threshold, that is next third, that a minimum acceptable power, and the power level when of the receiver when it reaches at B. Now see, when the handoff is improper, say that user reaches at A, the power level is okay here. If it should start handoff process once it reach to this power level, but unfortunately it's waiting, it cross this level, that minimum acceptable level, but when it reaches to the B, if it starts, or just below the minimum acceptable level it starts, then when it reaches to B, it already, the power level drops below the minimum acceptable level, then it won't be completed the handoff process. It's not possible. So it's a improper handoff situation. Similarly, if we look at the bottom figure, when it reaches A, it starts handoff process, reaches. Then when it here power level, it's at the edge, it starts the handoff process. So it when it reaches to the B, before that it will regain the same power level. So this is a proper handoff process, a proper handoff situation. Hard handoff and soft handoff. Figure 6. Hard handoff is basically what? Break before make. Means when the user is moving from this base station area to this base station area, so at position 1 it is connected to this base station. When it crosses the edge, there is no connection. When it reaches to the position 3, it is again connected to the new base station. So it is a break before make. So the connection between base station 1 to this user first breaks, then it makes a connection between user and the new base stations. Whereas in case of soft handoff, when it is at the edge of the cell or nearby edge of the cell, both the base stations are connected to the users. Then when it reaches to the territory of the base station to new base stations or nearby next base station, then the connection between the old base stations and the MS may break. So that's what it is called, make before break. The different standards, AMPS and GSM, they were using hard handoff. CDMA, it uses soft handoff. Now if we look at the handoff times and that margin that is called delta, okay, the delta. for generation wise, first generation it is called first generation, that is a NCHO, network controlled handoff. During that time MSC takes care of the handoff. That handoff time was 5 to 10 millisecond, 10 second, and that delta was kept during that time 6 dB to 12 dB. During 2G, that is MAHO, mobile assisted, during that time MSC was released from this handoff process, base stations taking care of the handoff process. That handoff time is 1 to 5 second and the delta value is 0 to 5 dB. During third generations MCHO, the handoff time is 100 milliseconds and the value of delta is 20 dBm. During 4G, that is a LTE, 30 to 60 millisecond, and 5G close to 0 millisecond. So this is the handoff time. Now, which factors affecting the handoff process? Handoffs. One is transmit power, channel conditions, area and shape of a cell, and mobility of the users. See, basically, the handoff process initiates when the received signal power just cross the handoff threshold, means predefined, it's a predefined threshold, so thresholds. So obviously, if the transmit power is too high, if the transmit, say for this example, if the transmit power is too high, if we take this figure, if the transmit power is too high, when it reaches B, its received signal voltage may be higher than the required threshold value. Then it may gets into this second cell. Still, it would be connected with the base station 1. In that case, it would be there will be cell dragging. If the transmit power is low, it may reaches early. Instead of reaching to the A positions, it may before reaching to A, before that it may happen that it received signal power is near to or below the threshold value. So in that case, there may be a handoff problem. So that is transmit power you have to select judiciously. Another factor, that channel conditions. Obviously, it has a great impact on the received signal. There are large scale fading, because channel condition depends on large scale and small scale fading. See, if there are too many terrains and too many buildings are there, so obviously there will be a large reflection, deflection. So the received signal will affect it. So if the received signal will affect it, the received signal power may be affected. In that case, there may be it influences the handoff process. Obviously, area and shape of the cell, it depends on mobility. Mobility means basically, if we think about when there is a mobility, then Doppler shift comes. So there will maybe a fast fading or slow fading. Slow fading no matters, but if there is a fast fading, then it makes difficult to initiate the handoffs, and as well as it will increase the handoff failures. So that's what these factors are very important. Now, handoff priority is basically, handoff priority is a method of prioritizing handoff requests in a cellular system to reduce the rate of handoff failures. So what we should do, a fraction of total available channels must be kept for the handoff request. This is the first point. While assigning channels using either FCA, fixed channel assignment, or DCA, dynamic channel assignment strategy, a guard channel concept must be followed to facilitate the handoffs. A good solution to avoid such a deadlock is to use DCA with the handoff priority, means demand-based allocations, and we can introduce that queuing of handoffs is also another good concept, where queuing of handoff request is another method to decrease the probability of forced terminations of a call due to lack of available channels. Basically, in this case, queuing case, we can use this handoff time. That this time we just recall the time. We already seen here. This handoff time, when it starts here, handoff process, and there, during this time we can use for handoff queuing. So what is the point here? Queuing of handoff request is another method to decrease the probability of forced terminations of a call due to lack of available channels. Queuing of handoff request is possible as there exists a time gap for a MS, as reduction in receive signal power from handoff threshold to minimum allowable receive power takes some time. So these are the different points how we can reduce the handoff failures or to take care of the handoff failures. Thank you today.